Welcome back to the channel, USA Coins 69, where we uncover the hidden treasures of the coin world. Today, we're focusing on a fascinating piece of American history, the 1975 Lincoln penny. But not just any 1975 penny, this is a 1975 Lincoln cent with a mint mark that's caught the eye of collectors worldwide. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just starting out with coin collecting, you're going to want to stick around for this one because by the end of this video, you'll find out why a 1975 Lincoln penny could be worth an astonishing $155,000. The 1970s were an interesting time in the United States. The country was navigating economic challenges and cultural shifts, but through it all, the Lincoln penny remained a constant, quietly circulating in pockets and cash registers across the nation. The 1975 Lincoln cent was no exception, a coin minted primarily at the Denver and Philadelphia mints, though the Philadelphia pennies did not carry a mint mark, while Denver pennies proudly display a D. This little letter tells a big story. Let's take a closer look at the coin itself. On the obverse side, we see the iconic profile of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909. This design has been one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history and symbolizes freedom, leadership, and resilience. Above Lincoln's head, the phrase, "In God We Trust," arches solemnly, while to the left, the word "Liberty" stands tall. And to the right, you'll find the year, 1975, along with that crucial mint mark, if present, indicating the coin's birthplace. Flip the coin over, and the reverse side features the Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 to commemorate Lincoln's 150th birthday. This design replaced the original wheat ears and depicts the famous Washington, D.C. monument in intricate detail. Around the edge, the words "United States of America" and "1 cent" encircle the memorial, with "De Pluribus Unum" nestled just above. Now, while millions of these pennies were produced in 1975, most of them are common, everyday coins with modest value. However, the value of this coin skyrockets when you consider certain factors: condition, mint mark, and rarity due to minting errors or unique variations. Condition is often the first consideration for collectors. A 1975 penny that has been circulated, showing signs of wear, scratches, and dullness, is typically worth just a few cents over face value. But those that have been kept in pristine, uncirculated condition, showcasing sharp details, brilliant luster, and no imperfections, are highly coveted. The mint mark plays an essential role here. Most 1975 pennies were minted in Denver and Philadelphia, with Philadelphia coins generally lacking a mint mark, while Denver coins proudly display a D. But the 1975 pennies from the San Francisco Mint, identified with an S, are fewer and often produced as proof coins, meaning they were struck with extra care for collectors and have a higher quality finish. These proof coins carry higher collector interest, especially in top grades, but here's where it gets really interesting. In 1975, a very rare and special variety of the Lincoln penny was minted with a double die error. What does that mean? Essentially, the coin's design elements, like the date or lettering, were accidentally stamped twice during production, creating a doubled image that can be seen with the naked eye or under magnification. This double die error is incredibly rare and sought after because it makes the coin one of a kind. Collectors prize these error coins because they tell a unique story of the minting process and add a layer of intrigue and scarcity to an otherwise common coin. A 1975 Lincoln penny with a clear double die error in top condition can command prices well beyond what a typical penny would ever see. Another factor that affects value is the coin's metal composition. By the 1970s, pennies were primarily made of a copper alloy with a small amount of zinc and tin, giving them their characteristic reddish-brown color. Changes in metal prices and minting practices over the years have led to several different penny compositions, but the 1975 pennies remain copper-rich compared to the steel pennies of the early 1940s or the mostly zinc pennies produced after 1982. What should you look for if you think you have a valuable 1975 penny? Start by examining the date and mint mark closely. Is there a visible D or S? Does the coin have a shiny, proof-like surface? Next, Check for any doubling on the date, Liberty, or In God We Trust. Look for crisp, clean details without wear or corrosion. The coin's condition and any anomalies will determine if it's a candidate for a high value. Collectors also highly recommend having any potentially valuable penny authenticated and graded by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. This adds credibility and can significantly increase the coin's market value. Now for the moment we've all been waiting for: how much can a 1975 Lincoln penny be worth? In everyday condition, a 1975 penny might be worth just a few cents or maybe a couple of dollars at most. But if you have one in pristine, uncirculated condition, especially a proof coin from San Francisco with a perfect mint mark and finish, the value starts to climb. And if your penny happens to be one of those rare double die error coins, perfectly preserved and professionally graded, then you're looking at a staggering $155,000. That's right, $155,000 for a small copper coin that was once just everyday pocket change. Today, we're zeroing in on a classic piece of American history, the 1980 Lincoln penny. But this isn't just any ordinary 1980 penny. We're talking about those rare, collectible versions that have captured the imaginations of collectors and investors alike. If you stick around till the end, you'll learn exactly why a 1980 Lincoln penny could be worth an incredible $159,000. The year 1980 marked a period of transition for the United States, the tail end of a decade filled with economic ups and downs, cultural shifts, and technological advancements. During this time, the Lincoln penny continued to circulate as everyday currency, quietly changing hands across the nation. But beneath the surface, some of these pennies were quietly becoming numismatic gold mines. Let's take a detailed look at this coin. On the obverse side, you see the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, designed by Victor David Brenner and first issued in 1909. This portrait is more than just a design, it's a symbol of American ideals, liberty, unity, and perseverance. Above Lincoln's head, the motto, "In God We Trust," reminds us of the nation's foundational values. To the left is the word liberty, and to the right, the year 1980 is stamped, often accompanied by a mint mark, such as D for Denver or S for San Francisco. Coins minted in Philadelphia typically have no mint mark. Flip the coin over, and you'll find the reverse design that had been used since 1959, the Lincoln Memorial. This iconic monument on the reverse celebrates one of the nation's greatest leaders and stands as a testament to freedom and democracy. The words "United States of America" and "1 cent" encircle the memorial, while "E pluribus unum" is engraved above. Most 1980 pennies were minted in massive quantities, with millions produced across Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. In everyday circulation, these coins are quite common and generally only worth face value or slightly more in average condition. However, the true value lies in a few key factors that can turn a simple penny into a rare and highly sought-after collector's item. First up is condition. Coins that have been handled extensively, showing wear, discoloration, or scratches, rarely carry significant value beyond a few cents. But uncirculated pennies, those preserved with their original shine, crisp details, and no signs of handling, become much more desirable, especially when professionally graded as mint state, MS, 65 or higher. High-grade coins reflect an almost flawless minting and preservation, making them prized by collectors worldwide. Next, the mint mark matters. San Francisco's minted coins were typically produced as proof coins with higher quality finishes, while Denver D and Philadelphia pennies were intended for circulation. Proof coins are often struck with special care, featuring sharper details and a mirror-like surface, which collectors highly value. However, a key rarity among 1980 pennies comes from unusual mint errors and variations. One of the most fascinating aspects of the 1980 Lincoln penny is the presence of double die errors. A double die occurs when the coin's design is accidentally impressed twice during the minting process, causing noticeable doubling in the lettering or numerals. In 1980 pennies, this error can appear on the date, the word "Liberty," or the motto, "In God We Trust." These double die pennies are rare and sought after because of their distinct appearance and minting anomaly. Another exciting error variety includes off-center strikes, where the coin's design isn't perfectly centered on the metal blank. This results in a portion of the design being cut off or shifted, creating a unique and collectible look. Off-center strikes vary in rarity depending on how much the design is shifted, with more extreme misalignments commanding higher prices. Some 1980 pennies also show repunched mint marks, RPM, where the mint mark letter was stamped more than once in slightly different positions. This subtle variation makes these coins fascinating to specialists and adds to their collectible value. Additionally, 1980 pennies are primarily made from a copper alloy consisting of 95% copper and 5% zinc, the traditional composition before the shift to mostly zinc cents in 1982. This copper content adds a warm reddish hue and gives these pennies a bit more intrinsic value compared to later coins. If you think you may have a valuable 1980 Lincoln penny tucked away in your collection, start by examining the coin closely under good lighting or with a magnifying glass. Look for the mint mark near the date, check for any signs of doubling on the date or letters, and assess the overall condition of the coin. If you find something unusual or particularly well preserved, consider having it professionally graded by a trusted coin grading service to verify authenticity and condition. The coin market has seen a growing interest in these 1980 Lincoln pennies, especially in recent years as collectors and investors hunt for gems with rare mint marks and minting errors. Online auctions and private sales have seen some of these coins achieve eye-popping prices. So what's the big number? What is the value of a truly exceptional 1980 Lincoln penny? Well, while everyday circulated examples might only be worth a few cents to a couple of dollars, a high-grade 1980 penny with a rare mint mark and a notable error can fetch a price that's almost unbelievable. That price is a jaw-dropping $159,000. Yes, $159,000 for a single Lincoln penny minted in 1980. A coin that may have passed through countless hands, once just a small piece of change, now commanding a price reserved for the rarest collectibles. Today, we're taking a close look at an American classic, the 1988 Lincoln penny. But this isn't just any ordinary penny from 1988. We're diving into what makes certain 1988 Lincoln cents, especially those with specific mint marks and rare attributes, incredibly valuable. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll discover why one of these coins could be worth a staggering $182,000. The Lincoln penny has been a staple of American currency for over a century, symbolizing more than just money. It's a tribute to Abraham Lincoln, an emblem of American perseverance and unity. The 1988 penny continues this legacy but carries its own unique history and rarity that makes it a hot topic for collectors. Back in 1988, the United States was at a fascinating crossroads. The economy was experiencing growth, pop culture was booming, and in the world of coin minting, the U.S. Mint was producing billions of pennies for everyday transactions. Among these were pennies minted in Philadelphia, with no mint mark, Denver, with a D mint mark, and San Francisco, with an S mint mark, each telling a different story depending on where they were struck. The obverse of the 1988 penny features the timeless profile of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner and first introduced in 1909. Lincoln's image has stood the test of time, evoking the principles of freedom and democracy. Above Lincoln's head is the phrase, "In God we trust," a reflection of the nation's enduring faith. On the left side of the coin, "Liberty" is inscribed, while the year, 1988, and the mint mark, if any, appear to the right. Flip it over, and you'll see the Lincoln Memorial, a symbol of honor and remembrance that replaced the wheat ears on the reverse side starting in 1959. Encircling the memorial are the words "United States of America" and "1 cent," while "E pluribus unum" proudly crowns the top. Now, millions of 1988 pennies were produced, and most remain in circulation today. For the average person, a 1988 penny may only be worth its face value. However, the true collector's gold lies in coins that are rare due to minting anomalies, condition, and specific mint marks. One of the first things collectors consider is the coin's condition. Most pennies found in circulation show signs of wear, scratches, discoloration, and smoothing of details. But an uncirculated penny, one that retains its original luster and sharp details, can be worth considerably more. Professional grading services like PCGS and NGC assess coins and assign a grade, with mint state, MS, 65 or higher representing exceptional preservation. The mint mark itself is crucial. Philadelphia pennies usually have no mint mark, Denver pennies carry a D, and San Francisco pennies an S. But it's not just the mint location that matters, it's about which coins were produced in smaller quantities, or which mint produced coins with unique features or errors. In 1988, certain pennies from the Denver Mint showed rare variations known as double die errors. These occur when the die that strikes the coin's image is mistakenly impressed twice, resulting in doubled or blurred lettering, particularly noticeable in the date or inscriptions like Liberty. This error is highly sought after by collectors because it's both visually striking and extremely rare. Additionally, some 1988 pennies exhibit die cracks or die breaks, small imperfections caused by wear and tear on the dies used to strike coins. Though subtle, these flaws create unique fingerprints on the coins, turning what would otherwise be ordinary pennies into collector's treasures. Another fascinating rarity in the 1988 Lincoln Penny series is the presence of proof coins from the San Francisco Mint. These pennies were specially struck with a mirror-like finish and sharp details, intended for collectors rather than circulation. High-grade proof pennies, especially those with minting anomalies, can fetch significantly higher prices. One more element influencing value is the coin's metal composition. The 1988 Lincoln penny was still primarily composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc, which adds to its intrinsic value compared to the post-1982 mostly zinc pennies. This copper content gives the coin a reddish hue and adds another layer of interest for collectors, especially those fascinated by the metals themselves. If you suspect you own a 1988 Lincoln penny with potential value, start by examining the date and mint mark carefully. Look for any doubling of letters or numbers, unusual surface textures, or off-center strikes. Next, evaluate the coin's condition. Does it shine with the brilliance of a new coin, or has it been worn down by decades of handling? For any penny that stands out, getting a professional grading can unlock its true market potential. Grading provides authentication and an official quality rating, which is essential for buyers and sellers in the collectible coin market. In recent years, demand for rare error coins and high-grade Lincoln pennies has surged, driving prices to record highs. Auctions and private sales have seen remarkable results for 1988 Lincoln pennies with rare mint marks or errors in top condition. So, what's the headline figure? How much could a truly exceptional 1988 Lincoln penny be worth? While most circulated examples are worth only pennies or a few dollars, and uncirculated ones might fetch a modest premium, the rarest and most flawless examples with unique mint errors can command a price that's almost unbelievable. That price is an eye-watering $182,000. Yes, $182,000 for a small, humble penny minted in 1988. A coin that might have quietly slipped through cash registers and hands for decades suddenly transforms into a priceless piece of American numismatic history. Today, we're uncovering one of the most fascinating stories in American numismatics, the 1976 Lincoln penny. While many people might dismiss this penny as just everyday change, we're about to reveal why certain 1976 Lincoln pennies with particular mint marks and rare features have captured the imagination of collectors worldwide and can be worth an astonishing $187,000. Let's start with a bit of historical context. The year 1976 was a landmark year for the United States. The bicentennial celebration marked 200 years since the Declaration of Independence. Across the country, patriotic fervor was running high, and the U.S. Mint was no exception. Although the Lincoln penny didn't undergo a redesign until 2009, the 1976 penny represents an era of American pride and transition, still carrying the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln on its obverse side. The obverse of the 1976 Lincoln penny features the familiar bust of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th president, engraved by Victor David Brenner. This design has been a constant on pennies since 1909 and is deeply symbolic of American ideals like freedom, perseverance, and unity. The inscriptions include, "In God We Trust," across the top, "Liberty," to the left, and of course, the year, 1976, to the right. Depending on the mint, you might also see a mint mark such as D for Denver or S for San Francisco, or no mark for Philadelphia. On the reverse side, unlike the wheat ears design of pennies minted before 1959, 1976 pennies feature the Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 to commemorate Lincoln's 150th birthday. The memorial symbolizes honor and remembrance and is framed by the words "United States of America" above and "1 cent" below, with "De Pluribus Unum" engraved just above the memorial itself. While millions of these pennies were produced in 1976, the value of most in circulation today is just their face value, 1 cent. But within those millions are a few rare coins that have become prized collectibles, thanks to factors like mint mark rarity, errors, and condition. The first and most important factor for any coin's value is its condition. Coins that have circulated heavily are worn and lack detail. But uncirculated coins, especially those graded mint state 65 or higher by professional grading services, retain sharp details, a full luster, and are highly desirable to collectors. A high-grade 1976 penny can already command a premium over face value. Next, the mint mark is crucial. The Philadelphia Mint produced most 1976 pennies and does not place a mint mark on its coins. The Denver Mint's D mint mark coins were produced in large numbers as well. But the San Francisco Mint issued proof pennies marked with an S, which are often sought after due to their high-quality finish and lower mintage. Now, here's where it gets truly interesting. Among 1976 Lincoln pennies, there are rare minting errors and anomalies that drive their value into the stratosphere. One such error is the famous doubled die. A doubled die happens during the coin striking process when the die itself has a doubled impression, causing letters or numbers to appear doubled or blurry. On the 1976 penny, this can manifest as doubling on the date, Liberty, or In God We Trust. This dramatic doubling makes the coin instantly recognizable and highly prized. Another sought-after rarity is the off-center strike, where the coin blank was not properly aligned in the press, resulting in a portion of the design being shifted off the coin. Depending on how severe the off-centering is, such coins can become very valuable because of their uniqueness. Some 1976 pennies also exhibit die cracks, small fractures in the die that cause raised lines or irregularities on the coin's surface. While minor die cracks are common, significant ones that produce unusual patterns are rare and collectible. Beyond errors, metal composition also adds value. The 1976 penny was minted with 95% copper and 5% zinc, giving it a warm reddish tone. This copper content gives the coin a base intrinsic value, though it's the numismatic qualities that truly increase worth. If you're wondering how to tell if your 1976 penny is valuable, begin by checking for a mint mark near the date. Look closely with a magnifying glass or loupe for any signs of doubling on the inscriptions or any irregularities in the design. Examine the edges for misalignment or unusual raised lines that could indicate die cracks. Finally, assess the condition. Is the coin shiny and crisp or worn and dull? Many of these rarities have been discovered in old collections, change jars, and even at coin shows. When authenticated and graded, some of these pennies have sold for amounts that would astonish most people. Speaking of amounts, after exploring the history, design, rarity, and condition factors that influence this penny's value, it's time to reveal the grand prize. A flawless, rare 1976 Lincoln penny with a significant mint error or an exceptional mint mark in pristine condition can be worth an incredible $187,000. That's right, $187,000 for a single penny minted in 1976. A small, everyday coin turned treasure, embodying history, rarity, and the thrill of discovery. Today, we're diving deep into a seemingly ordinary coin with an extraordinary story, the 1978 Lincoln penny. While most people see these pennies as just pocket change, some very rare examples with specific mint marks and unique features have become prized collectibles that can command jaw-dropping prices. By the end of this video, you'll discover why one particular 1978 Lincoln penny could be worth an astounding $195,000. The Lincoln penny has been a symbol of American currency and heritage since its debut in 1909, paying homage to President Abraham Lincoln, one of the most beloved figures in U.S. history. Over the decades, the penny has seen changes in composition, design tweaks, and countless mint marks. The 1978 penny continues this rich legacy, featuring the classic image of Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back, but there's so much more to this coin than meets the eye. Let's set the scene. The year 1978 was part of a transformative period in American history. The country was navigating economic shifts, cultural changes, and a renewed sense of identity as it moved towards the closing years of the 20th century. The U.S. Mint, busy producing billions of pennies, struck coins primarily at 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, marked with a D; and San Francisco, marked with an S for proof coins. Each mint mark tells a unique story and plays a big role in a coin's rarity and value. The obverse of the 1978 penny showcases Victor David Brenner's timeless portrait of Lincoln. This side bears the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date, 1978, alongside the mint mark when applicable. On the reverse, we find the Lincoln Memorial, surrounded by "United States of America" and 1 cent, with "E Pluribus Unum" elegantly placed above the memorial's arches. Though millions of these pennies were minted, the real treasure lies in coins that have survived in exceptional condition or bear unusual characteristics. Most pennies in circulation today are worn and hold little value beyond their face, but that's where collectors come in, searching for coins that stand out due to rarity, condition, or minting anomalies. Condition is paramount. Collectors prize pennies that have remained uncirculated, with a full original shine, crisp details, and no signs of wear. Grading companies like PCGS and NGC rate coins on a scale up to 70, with mint state, MS, 65 or higher coins considered top tier and worth significantly more. Next up, mint marks matter greatly. The Philadelphia Mint produced the majority of pennies in 1978 and didn't mark their coins. Denver's D pennies were produced in vast numbers, while San Francisco minted special proof pennies marked S with a mirror-like finish, often sought after by collectors for their superior quality. But what makes some 1978 pennies truly valuable are the rare errors and varieties that occurred during production. One of the most famous and desirable errors is the doubled die. This happens when the die that stamps the coin has a doubled image, causing the inscriptions or numbers to appear doubled or blurred. For the 1978 penny, doubling can often be seen in the date or in the word "Liberty." These double die pennies are extremely scarce and highly prized by collectors worldwide. Another rarity is the off-center strike, where the coin blank wasn't properly aligned during striking, causing part of the design to be missing or shifted. The more dramatic the off-centering, the rarer and more valuable the coin. Die cracks and other die defects also play a big role. These are small fractures on the die that show up as raised lines or unusual markings on the coin. While minor die cracks are common, unique or severe cracks can make a coin a standout collector's piece. What about the metal content? The 1978 penny was made mostly of copper, about 95% copper and 5% zinc, giving it a warm reddish color that collectors love. This copper content adds intrinsic metal value, but the true worth comes from numismatic factors. So, if you find a 1978 Lincoln penny in your collection or change, what should you look for? Start by identifying the mint mark. Then, with a magnifying glass or loupe, check for signs of doubling on the date or letters, off-center strikes, or unusual raised lines that could indicate die cracks. Assess the coin's condition. Is it sharp and shiny, or dull and worn? Over the years, 1978 pennies with these rare features have fetched increasingly high prices at auctions and private sales. Coin enthusiasts and investors alike recognize their potential as valuable pieces of American history and rare collectibles. After all this exploration into history, rarity, and condition, here's the grand reveal: a flawless, rare 1978 Lincoln penny with a prominent mint error or unique mint mark, preserved in pristine condition, can be worth an unbelievable $195,000. Yes, you heard that right, $195,000 for a single penny struck back. In 1978. This tiny piece of copper, once just common pocket change, has transformed into a prized artifact that combines history, rarity, and the excitement of the hunt. So next time you dig through your loose change or inherited coin stash, give your 1978 Lincoln pennies a closer look. You might just be holding the key to a life-changing treasure. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into the fascinating world of the 1978 Lincoln penny. If you found this video interesting, please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another amazing coin discovery. Have you ever come across a rare penny or coin that blew your mind? Share your story in the comments. I love hearing about your unique finds. Until next time, keep hunting, keep collecting, and remember, your next penny might just be worth $195,000.